As a production manager, when we're working on a musical or a play, my job is to have oversight of the production as a whole. So I operate a little bit differently. It's not like an actor who comes and is going every single night and they arrive at half an hour before curtain and they put on their makeup and they get into costume. What I do is generally get us through all of the technical rehearsals and the previews. And then once the show is open to the public, I don't come to the theaters so much except to just check in, see how it's going. So as we're in technical rehearsals and previews, and that's a time when we're adding in all of the elements. The actors are on the stage, the lighting is in place, the sound is in place, all of the costumes are there. We're figuring out what does the show now look like to the public. So what will happen is those are long days. We usually start about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The shops have been working all day to get the stage ready and get all of the scenery in place. We'll arrive about 1 o'clock or so. I'll go into the theater, make sure everybody's at their, doing what they do. And when you walk into the theater, you'll see that there are all of these tables set up in the house where the audience sits. And we call them tech tables. And it's where the stage manager will have a table and the lighting designer will have a table and the director will have a table. Everybody's kind of got a spot where they're sitting and they'll have equipment on that table. So the lighting designer, for example, will have monitors that'll show what all of the light cues are going to be looking like electronically. And the sound designer might have a console where they're mixing some tape where they're mixing sound cues and things like that. It's all digital now. Tape isn't old. It's old school. And then we start. And we will start at the very beginning of the play, and we start to layer in the light cues, and we layer in the sound, and everybody's in costume, and we start to move through the show. Now, with this current production that we have, actually, there's a lot of scenery elements that are automated. So we're starting to move the scenery, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. We had a show that we did last year, and I usually will go to all of the preview performances because that's when we're first in front of an audience, and we're starting to work out all of how does this really work? Is the audience enjoying it? Are these ideas coming across? And we're still working out the technology. So last year we did a very large musical, and we struggled with it. We had all sorts of technical challenges, and we actually had to stop the show in the performance. And so then I'm there, and I work with our technical director, and I go, what's going on? Are we okay? And the director's usually very anxious and comes to me and goes, what's going on? What's happening? When are we starting again? And we're backstage. This is what's happening. Our big robot broke, and so we have to go fix him. It was a musical about robots. So I sort of then work with all of the departments to make sure that the communication is happening and the director is understanding what's happening and when we're going to start again. And then, we start as quickly as we can in the case of us being in front of an audience. And we get through the night, or we get through the technical rehearsals, and then we have a big meeting at the end of the night. So everybody will gather together, all the technicians, all of the designers, the director, and we sit down and we talk through our notes and all the things that we need to work on and check in about, well, tomorrow we're going to be working on the next scene. Are all of those scenic elements going to be ready? Do we have all the props that we need? All of those kinds of things. So it really is, when I get there, the work that I do, it's really about making sure all of the elements are working and what do we need to do if they're not.